Hi everyone, I told you last week, or 2 weeks ago, sorry, that I was putting some mealworms in the freezer, and I actually put one pupa in the freezer to see if it will still hatch into a beetle after we leave it in the freezer for 2 weeks. Theoretically, the worms are all hibernating and still alive, and if I were to take them out now, they would start moving again once they unfroze. I am going to cook those ones a little bit later, but let's just check on the pupa. Here's everyone right here. All frozen. So I'm just going to take out one of the empty drawers from the hive, take this pupa very carefully, and put it right there. And we'll see what happens to him in a few days. I'll put the other worms back in the freezer.
Hi everyone, finally, after months of having the hive, we are going to cook some mealworms. Now it's our last day before moving away from China, so my resources are a little bit limited. We've given away a lot of our cooking supplies, but here I've got the mealworms that are frozen and hibernating. I've got some veggie burgers bought from Happy Buddha in Shanghai, and I've got some minced garlic. It's the best I could do. I've also got some homemade guacamole that I'll maybe put on the side. What you're supposed to do is take these worms that are still alive. If I left them to thaw, they would come back alive again and start moving around. And I'm going to put them right here in this boiling water, which, if you care, which you should, it's the more humane way and will kill them instantly, and they're already hibernating anyway, so theoretically, even if they're sentient, they would not even realize what happened. So the water is boiling, and this is the one generation that we managed to make ourselves. Still a few in there. These guys, we did not buy them. We completely raised them by ourselves. And they're already dead. If they're in the water like that, instantly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to strain them, mix them with garlic, and we'll see how it comes out. Mix it with the garlic and the veggie burgers. Good. Okay, I've strained the worms. They're now just in a pot by themselves. And I'm going to fire them up. Put in the minced garlic first. Give it some flavor. I always do that when I'm cooking. It's a general tip. Always put the spices in first. And in a couple minutes, I'll put the worms and the veggie burgers in. I've also got a little bit of spicy sauce, and since Olena's not eating this, I'll put some of the oil from here in because I don't have any oil left. Olena's the one with the camera. She's the one who edits all these videos. She also decided recently, or not so recently, once we got the hive and she saw the mealworms growing, she decided she didn't want to be an ento-vegan. She did not want to eat them. I guess she's alright with me doing it. I probably am also not going to do it that often. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes. We'll see what happens. But I am going to do it this time. Alright, we're ready. I think we lost a bunch of footage there, but I was saying the benefits of eating mealworms versus eating meat is that they take up a lot less space. They don't require any resources. You can feed them off your scraps, and the waste they produce is very, very little. In fact, we use their poop to put in our houseplants as fertilizer. The environmental impact of eating meat, especially pork and beef, is just insane. The amount of land it takes up, the amount of corn you have to produce in order to feed them, the amount of water they use. We don't even feed them water. They get their water from the food we give them. And if you're a vegan, this is definitely an ethical issue. I'm not going to argue that point. But what I'm saying is that if you are a meat eater, it's definitely a good idea to maybe occasionally eat a edible insect meal instead of a meat meal. Because, to be honest, a lot of people can't get past the fact that it's worms. But look at a shrimp and tell me that doesn't look exactly the same. You eat crabs, you eat lobsters. I don't understand the difference. The first time I tried an insect was at some kind of it was in Prague at a fair. The same time Olena tried them, and they were advertising it the way that I don't really like, where they were like, "Ooh, do you want to try some worms?" And that's the wrong way to do it, because instead it should just be a normal thing. We did it for thousands of years, and then recently, culturally, it's become a taboo. And to be honest, whether you like it or not, you're eating insects all the time. There's insects in beer, there's insects in a lot of your foods, tiny ones, and even red dye. If you eat any candies that are red, that's made of beetles, I believe. So, all right, looks like I'm done. I'm probably gonna cook that up, mix it with some guacamole. In better circumstances, I would, put some greens and other things in it, but I don't have the materials right now. Thanks for watching, and see you in New York for more Mealworm Mondays.